Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm happy you found me. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today, I just want to talk real quickly about what do employees want, or what are they looking for when they're going to look for a job, and a job that they're going to accept, right? So I try to put myself in those shoes. If I were in the market, what would I want to look for? What would I want? And what would be the driving force behind me accepting a position at a job, right? So I know that we're seeking a combination of traditional and modern factors that contribute to our overall decision, whether it's competitiveness, compensation, and benefits, which is, for me, in my stage of life, would be one of the top driving forces for me. Fair pay remains at the top of my list. And, of course, job satisfaction, but benefits like health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, and even wellness programs are crucial. I think when it comes to looking at a person's situation, we have to also consider our work-life balance. Is there any type of flexibility in the work schedules? And is there an option to either work hybrid, or work at home, remote, what have you, right? So when you're thinking, or when you're looking for a job, what is it that you're looking for in your job, in your job search? What are some criterias that you believe for yourself would make that deciding fact whether or not you'll accept the position if you were granted one? So for me, like I said, it's all about fair pay. It's all about flexibility. It's all about benefits, health, retirement plans. It's all about wellness programs, because all that is crucial. And you also want an opportunity to grow. You want to know that there is some upward mobility, right? Employees want the opportunity to have a career advancement, professional development. And this is key. I used to love finding an employment that offers training, whether it's off the book training, meaning that it's not on the job, but they provide you with a platform where you can learn different areas of things that is associated with that job. So you can further your education, whether you want to make lateral moves or if you just want to get a promotion or anything of that nature. I love employment that allows employees the opportunity for career advancement, professional development, things of that nature, and mentorship. That's huge too. So what areas are most important to you? What is the key factor or driver that will say, you know what, I am looking for this I must have? What is a make break for you? What things do you need to have when you're looking for a job? So all that works for me. There is a combination. I just can't have one or the other. I'm looking for several things, and I also want to make sure that there's a purpose for me being there, not just the money, outside the money, because even when we are working for a good amount of pay, and if you feel there's no purpose, you're not going to be at your best. You're not going to be good, and eventually it's not going to be a good fit for you and the employer, right? So you have to have some type of meaning. You have to have some type of purpose. More than ever, I think we want to feel that our work contributes to something much larger than ourselves. So I think a company's mission is creating that positive societal impact, often for our way of saying, let me have a little morale, positivity for this, or I have to have a meaning. Why am I here? Not just to make the people that I work for a whole lot more money or richer or what have you, or just for a paycheck. I just don't want to be there for a paycheck. I want to make sure it has a purpose for me. So what is it that makes you want to go in or take a position? And what about this? What about if it's a work culture? For me, I want to be in the area. I worked for a job before, and the culture was so awesome that I wanted to go into work. The pay wasn't all that. I mean, it was getting there, but I wanted to be around the people, to enjoy my day. And the funny thing is, when you can go to work and the culture is just so awesome, it makes you want to be there every single day. That's actually worth going to work. And when I say that, I mean, not only is the culture is great, but you think about it, it's giving you a meaning, it's giving you purpose, it's giving you the idea of saying, you know what, I enjoy working here, I enjoy working with the people that I work with. All of these things it plays a major role in, let me see, a good work-life balance, a job that gives me purpose, a positive work culture, all those things. And then for me, I also want to look at something that's going to give me a little stability. I need to know that this job has been around, it's going to be around, and while doing that, it offers me some type of flexibility and value. So I also want to make sure that whoever I work for, they value their employees. And that is key for me. If you don't value me, you don't value my input, you don't value my contribution, then I'm not going to feel valued, and I'm not going to be there long, and I'm not even going to do a good job. So what is it for you? And I think about these things. I know it's crazy, because when we think about this, we say to ourselves, what am I looking for? What do I want? Some people, they go job hunting because they need the money. So they don't look at all these other things, because at some point they say, hey, look, I know what I would like to have, but I can't get that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to settle for this. I'm going to settle for that. And we don't last long in those jobs. Or you might have a job that pays you so well, you deal with all the misgivings or certain uncomfortable situations. Yeah, that's just not me. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and I've worked for a company for, let's say, maybe 20 years out of my life. But for 40 years, I've been an entrepreneur. So I know the importance of being able to go look for a job. I know the importance of having employees work for me. So I've been on both sides of the fence, and I understand both sides of the spectrum. But having said that, what is it that makes us change our mind or take a job that we really don't like? Is it just because of the money? So I think in every job we need a little bit of appreciation. I think that we have to have some sort of recognition, especially when somebody's doing a real good job. That recognition helps fuel them. It helps fortify their confidence, and knowing that it allows them to understand that you appreciate them. And they would want to do hard. They want to work harder and do a better job for you. So appreciation is really, really high up there, and it's important, as well as trust. You gotta have trust. And that's on both sides of the spectrum. The employee has to be able to trust his employer, and the employer to trust their employees. So we have to have that trust also to make decisions, and giving them the opportunity to, or room, I would say, to make mistakes and make sure that they're learning from those mistakes. And I think by trusting employees, it also fosters creativity and job satisfaction instead of having micromanagement. And nobody don't like to be micromanaged. So yeah, that's key. Well-being. What about well-being? Our mental health. We have to have some type of support because some people are going to work and they're struggling mentally. I have to say that. There was times when I've worked for a company and there was times where I had personal issues, personal things going on with my family, that the job that I had at that particular time did not do a good job in understanding or being or showing empathy. And I told this to somebody earlier today. I was at a job once and my wife had a heart attack, and they said, and I said, I'm going to the hospital. My wife had a heart attack. And they said, well, do you think you can make it in by this time? That was a silent moment for me. And I have to tell you, I hung up the phone after that. I didn't think nothing about them because that was so rude. That was showing me no empathy whatsoever. And they didn't show that they understood what I was going through. And obviously, they'd never been in my shoes to even ask me a question like that. So I don't want to ever be put in that type of position. And I know you don't want to be put in that type of position, whether it's something that I've experienced or something that is equally damaging or severe, something like that. However, I do know that our leadership, or in the job that we're looking for, we also want to have some type of collaborative and supportive leadership. We want to know that, hey, our input counts. Our input matters. What we do matters. We want to also know that we're being appreciated and that our bosses or our employers are listening to us. And in essence, I think there are so many things that I would like to look for in trying to find the right type of job. But one key thing I think an employer should have is the power of empathy. Empathy, is a powerful trait for employers. And if they don't have it, they need to cultivate it or learn how to cultivate it, because it fosters a positive and productive workplace. And I think what I just got through telling you about my wife having that heart attack, that's a true story. So, having empathy, if they had empathy and they said, hey, Dave, I understand, take the day off. I fully get it. And just keep us up to date. Just keep us in the loop and we'll go from there. That would have showed me, wow, they understood. And I didn't get that. So I don't want to be rambling on, but I think empathy is powerful for an employer to have. It enhances not only an understanding and letting us know that they understand, but it enhances our communication between employer and the employee. Empathy allows employers to listen more effectively and understand the perspectives of their team members. And I was a team member. I just didn't get that. And it can help prevent misunderstandings. And you want to know something else? It will also help resolve conflicts more quickly by having some type of empathy. It will definitely, and I believe that, in my personal opinion, I believe that having empathy also will promote, I would say, open, transparent communication. Let's leave it at that. So I hope if you're out there job hunting, that you find what it is that you're looking for. So in your job hunt, I'm going to say, before you start hunting, figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you can't live without, and start doing your homework on what a company will offer. So that is key, what a company will offer, and figure out where you fit within their offering. and see if it will be a good fit. Because sometimes you could go look for a job. Like I said, if you're only going for the money, it's not going to last that long, or you're not going to be happy. I've seen people who are on a job for 15, 20 years because of the money, but they were so miserable and they stayed miserable and they made the people around them miserable. So you bring that miserableness home with you. So think about that. What would make you happy? What would make your day a whole lot better? So communication skills. I think an employer, if I was to do something on employers, I think as an employer, we number one, I think we would show empathy. The second, definitely communication skills and decisiveness. Strong decision-making skills, I think, is crucial for any employer. And I had to learn that the hard way. Definitely, at one point, I was undecisive. So I had to learn how to be very decisive and be able to make decisions quickly at the drop of a dime as well, especially when I had a painting business. I had to make decisions quickly, especially if somebody did something wrong or there was like something like an accident, spilled can of paint on a white rug. We've dealt with all of that. So decisiveness will also help you prevent a lot of bad things from happening as well. So what I would like as an employee and as an employer is a little integrity. If anything, I would say a whole lot. Honesty is key for me. So be honest with your employees and be honest with your employer. Adaptability. We have to be able to adapt to certain situations. Our times are constantly changing. So our business environment and landscapes are definitely changing. So being flexible and open to change is crucial for employers as well as employees. So as an employer, I also think a good trait to have is vision. You have to have a clear vision for the future of your organization and where you want to go. But here's a big one. Emotional intelligence. Beyond empathy, emotional intelligence includes self-awareness, self-regulation, social skills. It allows employers to manage their emotions effectively, understanding team dynamics and navigate interpersonal relationships within the workplace a whole lot smoother than a person without emotional intelligence. That's key. That works hand in hand with having empathy, in my opinion. And I'll go as far as saying, I think employers should also have accountability. Every employer should have accountability by holding themselves and others accountable and ensure that our commitments are met and our standards are upheld in a way. So for me, it was accountability. Running my own business, I had to have that accountability. And when I was younger, sometimes that accountability slipped out when I was like a teenager or, early 21, 22. My accountability wasn't the way it should have been, but over time it has strengthened and it's solid. It's like a rock right now. And one thing I could say as an employer, I have great resilience. So I think every employer should embody resilience, being able to face challenges and setbacks with the strength of perseverance. So that's one key. If I am an employer, I definitely want that. And for me, having a little humility. It allows me to acknowledge my own limitations and accept feedback. And I think that's good for employees as well. So, and for another part of me is creativity and innovation. I think it's huge because a lot of things that I do, even with this podcast, it's all about creativity. It's all about innovation. What do I want to do is part of having that vision. What do I want to do next? Where I want this podcast to go. So we think about all those things. And then as an employer, you think about delegation. I can delegate, but who else could I help teach to delegate and who might be good at it? So we want to be able to adapt to all these things. And last I got two more for you. I believe confidence. You got to have confidence to make your decisions and be a leader. And as a leader, I think you should be able to also mentor. You should be able to mentor the people that work for you. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. And I hope these were some good thoughts for you, whether or not you are an employee looking for employment or whether or not you are an employer. It's just things that we can keep at the forefront, and every day we be accountable for our own actions and the things that we do and the people that we are in charge of and the people that we meet every single day. Well, again, my name is Dave. You're listening to The Last Podcast, and I hope you will subscribe. I hope you will like this podcast, and do me a big favor. Tell your family, friends, co-workers, and associates about this podcast. Until next time, be blessed.